It's the same as last year. Not all of you, but what you have to walk through to get here. I told my good friend Andra, who's from Wales, who we knew for years in Los Angeles, and she always hosts us here. And I said, it was much warmer last year, though. It was actually hot. And I said, there's no place in the world like London with this pub business outdoors. I've never seen the likes of it. And it's so funny because as soon as we got out, we were 2 blocks from here. Of course, it began, the corners. And I'd forgotten about it. It's always on the corners that they are. And it's also Friday night. And so everybody is just going on. And then I'm thinking, you're all up here going on in what you do. But I guess the biggest question for me is, do you also do that?
There are some people. Sometimes.
Well, you know, in Russia they do both. And we just came from Moscow this morning, and I was surprised because all these yogis for 5 nights, like, you know, between 80 and 100 people every night, just sitting there so attentively, just wanting to know truth, wanting to have an experience. It was like so amazing. And then one of them related to me, well, you know, I love vodka. Oh no, and I know it started out, I don't usually smoke, but when I really drink a lot of vodka, then, and I'm at a bar, then I'm always picking up cigarettes. And I'm just amazed with how people do it all, but at the same time not. And there's no judgment on it at all. Because the crossover, as we clean our minds, takes time. And many of us, I know, go here, and then we go there, and then we go here, 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 and then we get back to the yoga, and then we decide we're going to be a vegetarian, and then whoops, Thanksgiving comes, and well, and then Christmas, you know, well, everybody does, and you're just playing in that pool of change. And so the only real message I have for you tonight is don't beat yourself up. And don't make rules. Because you know that expression, rules are meant to be broken, and they will be. Self-discipline is very different than discipline. Who can tell me what the difference is? Discipline is from the outside. Mom said, don't you come home after 10 o'clock. The Pope says, don't be gay. Pope says that or not, but you know. And then there's rules from here and rules from there, and teachers say this, and then your first catechism teacher says there is a God. There's no question there's a God. Okay, there's a God. And we mimic what somebody tells us on the outside to do, to not do, to hate certain races and religions. We've been brought up in that too, many of us. To hate Jewish people, to hate German people, you know, to only like so-and-so but not like so-and-so, if it's a neighbor, if it's a relative. How many families have you known, or are you a part of that? The brother doesn't talk, my uncle never talks to my father, and my grandfather, and it's on and on. All of this kind of business of like, dislike, bad, good, right, wrong. But it's all from the outside. Your government tells you something. Your church tells you something. Your teacher tells you something, and you buy it as true. And then you get to a certain point in life, God willing you do, most people don't. They keep following those rules on the outside the rest of their lives. But as yogis, you want to come to union, you want to come to a knowingness through experience, so that you can know it as your truth, not somebody else's truth. And that's basically what yoga is, becoming union with yourself. And when you do, you know your own truth and you know your own rules. And then it becomes self-discipline. It has a much more powerful impact if the rules come from the blessing of the connection that you have inside with your own soul. And that will come if your practice continues. That will come if your mind starts cleaning in the subconscious level. It will not come from rules. It will not come from outside rules. It will not come from beating yourself up. It never works that way. I know for myself, I did everything, not everything, but a lot of things through all the years that I lived before I began this path. And I wanted to kind of stop, but part of me didn't want to stop because I really liked drugs, because drugs connected me to God. I really liked unconditional sex because why not? You know, who made those rules? And so we were rebellious in the 60s. We were the hippies. We were the Renaissance. We were the renegades. We were the ones that were setting what you're doing today. In all truth. We set a new trend. We broke rules. We said no more. We're not going to do what you tell us to do because it's not based on truth. So from that, I think the most important thing, okay, so it was New Year's Eve, it was 1970. And I come back from Hawaii and I was at Big Sur, where I was hung out when I wasn't riding the waves on Maui. And because our lifestyle was to do as little as possible and definitely not to work, but only to have fun. And so I came back and there was a New Year's Eve party. Of course, there were always New Year's Eve parties and with everything included in a New Year's Eve party. And I knew that I just knew inside my soul. And I didn't even know I had a soul at that time. I knew inside, some place inside of me, I knew that that night would be the last time that I would participate in anything that I had done in the past. And the next morning I woke up and I had done it all. And that was it. And I've never done it since. And did I make up the rule? Did I beat myself up? No. It came to me. Do I regret anything I've ever done? No. And I think when you sit in regret and when you sit in guilt and remorse and contempt of self, you'll continue to do it. But if you keep doing what you're doing and add your yoga, add your meditation, add your personal sadhana, little by little, that which is supposed to leave, when it's supposed to leave, it will. So if you sit here and then you go out there, do it. A guy came up in Russia. It was so cute. We really loved teaching in Russia. The first day was like, why am we here? We're sitting all these people. The translator, I didn't know what she was translating. It was like, and they were just looking like that, and I was looking like that. And it was 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock every night. And by the 5th day, we were crying. They were hugging. There were so many photographs, so many gifts, because we had melted and we had merged together. It was unbelievable. It was so beautiful. So this one fellow, they had so many questions, unbelievable questions. They'd wait in lines to ask about, I have a headache, or I don't like my husband, or my back hurts. I don't know what to eat. I want to lose weight. And so many just questions, but really kind of innocent questions, not real sophisticated. Could you please go through the 7 chakra series with me and tell me what the gunas are? It was just real practical. So this one fellow comes up, so cute. He says, in his very broken English, I don't know why I'm doing this. I said, doing what? And he said, Kundalini Yoga. I said, how long have you been doing it? For 2 years. I don't know why. Like that. And I look at him, and I wasn't going to go through a whole intellectual concept with him. I said, you know what? You know how you can understand why you're doing it? He says, no. I said, just stop doing it. Just stop. Stop doing it all together. And he looks at me like this. No, I don't want to stop. I said, well, you answer the question yourself. So sometimes people will come up and they'll say, almost like your Mother Mary that they're confessing to after a class, you know. Maybe they're kind of a new student, they've got to get something off their chest, and they'll say, I really love this, but I have to tell you, I smoke. You know, better than saying I just murdered someone or something like that. But they say, yeah, I still smoke. Like I'm supposed to get out my whip and I said, you know what? I said, what? I said, keep smoking. What do you mean keep smoking? They want me to say it's bad stuff. Now they want somebody on the outside to discipline them. I said, keep smoking. Just add this practice. Just add this practice. But keep smoking. Perfect. They'll come back a bit later. You know, I don't really like to smoke that much. I said, okay, good. Keep the practice, smoke still when you like. They'll come back after 4 months and they'll say, I stopped smoking. Good. You see, when you get the experience of when, like, they'll often say in the scripture, when you get touched. When you get touched, when the timing that you get touched, all that which keeps you disconnected from your soul will just leave like that. So, ground level leaves, usually diet changes, habits change, even friends change. Hopefully partners don't change, but sometimes they change too. A lot of things change on that level. The chakras start to get cleaned up a bit, you might say. So that's the first cleaning. That's kind of like just sweeping your house. But the finer cleaning comes as the years go on. Where you start cleaning your subconscious mind. You start cleaning the details in your mind. You even start cleaning your thoughts. Until the thoughts run through and they're so not correct that you know. But 5 years ago they were just fine. Well, what's wrong with talking about somebody? Hey, you know, we gotta get it out, don't we? Girlfriends have to talk, don't they? And so we just gossip. And it doesn't seem like a big deal. And then if you get more refined and you start cleaning your subconscious, you see how not only your words are hurting you, that person you're talking to, and the subject matter, if it's another person. And not only those three, it's hurting the world. Gossip poisons the whole world. So you start watching what you say. And when you watch what you say, then you have to know what you're thinking. Because you don't say anything other than what you're thinking. And through meditation, it's pretty amazing what runs through our minds, isn't it? Unbelievable stuff. But we do know that if you sit long enough in the middle of your breath pattern, the thoughts will come like an avalanche, so much, so fast. You want to get up. You want to run away. You want to say, I don't have time to meditate. You want to do something to keep you from this turmoil. But if you sit and breathe, pretty soon the solid thoughts quiet, 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 so they no longer rule you. And that's what we're going to work on tonight, is just having the experience of cleaning the subconscious mind. And when you do, and when it gets cleaner and cleaner, and you don't live in the world of action, reaction, action, reaction, he said, she said, I got like a ping pong game, then you won't have any need to have to be out of the club anymore.